I opened BBC News this Saturday morning, July 27th, 2024. And what do I see? The first most important news is Olympic cyclists and Olympic news, which is an important news. And as any weekend news, there are mostly news of sports and social events. And that's okay. I just browse through this stuff. I go to the second page and I see the same stuff, social, some music and sports and so on. And on the third page of the Saturday news, along with the news about Timberlake and some pop girls that nobody knows and never heard of, there is also a very small size news about Israel strike on Gaza who kills 30 children. And my first thought was, well, since when the killing children in some country by a strike, missile or bomb strike, is a third page news? Is that what we are about now? The Western societies, we are just third page news tells us about innocent people being killed by a strike, and this is just so trivial, so unimportant, and so insignificant news that nobody really gives a damn, right? Most people would not even get down to the third page of the news, and will never know about it. And I didn't really, that my brain at least works the way that I still, after almost a year of conflict in Gaza, I still cannot accept that killing people like this, not on the battlefield, but just by a strike on civilian place, becomes nothing significant and absolutely trivial. Oh, and this is at the time when Netanyahu, the Israel prime minister, the country that actually did this strike and killed these kids, right? He rides in the US. He meets the president, he meets the presidential candidates, pretty much the next US president, one of them, right? He talks in front of the Congress, and regardless of whether he says bullshit or not bullshit, true, whatever, they applaud him, right? They're happy to see him. They like him. They want to shake his hand. They want to, take a picture with him. They like to, tell him how grateful they are and how great he is. And he's a friend and so on. And at the same time, the strike on these innocent children happens, and it's a third page news. But another thing happens the same day. I got distracted. I didn't want to sit down and talk about this, but then I go to the news 3 hours later, and what do I see on the news 3 hours later? I see 10 dead in rocket attack on Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. 10 dead, Israeli-occupied, and this is a top news. This now is the top news. How's that? How's that when the Western society became the way that we are? We're not politicians, we are just civilians, right? Having no relations to the politics. And we are told that killing 30 children in Gaza is absolutely an insignificant event, but killing 10 in Israel, Israeli Jewish people that are playing football on occupied territory, this is such a significant event, such a big deal, and we condemn it, and we have to condemn it with the government. I am not political. I don't want to be political, but I have to be. How am I supposed to stand with my politicians when they just spit on one person and kiss another? For me, for a civilian in a pretty much first world country, living the dream of the rest of the world, right? Am I expected to differentiate between different tiers of people? Am I expected to like Israelis more than I like Palestinians? Or not like Israelis as much as I don't like Palestinians? What's the difference for me, for the civilian non-politician? What is the difference between Palestinian, Israeli, Ukrainian, or Russian? What is the difference? Why am I supposed and expected to like one and not like another? This is crazy. This is a terrible society. This is a terrible politicians that do not really do anything to stop this mess, but they actually want all of us, all the population of this country and all the Western population to follow their steps and do as they tell us to do. What do you think?